So in this video, we're going to talk about inner alchemy, what it means, why is it important, why more and more people are talking about alchemy, but there's a lot of misinformation or partial truth about it. So we'll demystify it today. And of course, it's related to the inner science of alchemy, where people used to transform lead into gold. So, inner alchemy has the same principle to transform the lead, meaning the old, lower vibrational paradigms or beliefs or energies in our subtle bodies, which usually make us leak energy, make us react, go outside, try to resolve because it creates inner tension. So the root cause of it, of course, it's a wound. It's caused by a trauma, and in the subtle bodies, it creates like a samskara. It's called in Sanskrit. It's a energetic imprint in the mental body, but it's also in the energetic. It's also in the emotional body, and in the physical. Of course, it has a correspondent on each level. So this imprint, it's actually in standby, it's in latent form, is not activated. But when something from outside triggers us, this energetic imprint gets activated and creates like a vortex of energy. And have you ever had this experience like like something had a much more power over you, that you were compelled to act in a certain way even if you didn't want to, you thought is not good for you, but still you did it because the impulse was so strong? Can you relate to such an experience? Well, it's because of this energy. This vortex of energy is called the Vritti in Sanskrit. So samskara, it's in standby, but when it gets triggered, it gets activated, creates like a vortex of energy. So that creates in us uh, energy movement, which makes us act. Usually automatic. Usually it's a reactive process. We don't even become aware of it. We become angry, we scream, we fight, we whatever, right? We become jealous, we withdraw, different types of mechanisms that we create automatically, how to deal with this energy coming up, which is uncomfortable, right? So this is the process, what is happening in simple terms. So usually how people try to solve it is by smoking, drinking, bypassing this reaction for the moment, but it doesn't get solved. Even focusing on something else, it's not. It's just for the moment. So the real solution, it's actually inner alchemy. What that means is creating space for that energy which gets activated to pass through us. The more we react to it, the more we reject it, the more we don't want to feel it, the more actually we suppress that energy. The emotional body and the energetic bodies have also an immune system like the physical body. Like when a virus gets into our system, we get fever, whatever symptoms, but through that it gets released. The same with this virus, let's call it energetic imprint, the lower vibration energy. It wants to get out, it wants to get purified, but we, because it's uncomfortable, we suppress it, we stick it back into our subtle bodies because we don't want to experience it, because it hurts, it's painful. But this is the mistake that almost everybody does. So the real solution is when we are triggered, to actually hold the space for this energy to release, to hold the space with open heart, even if it's uncomfortable. So the only way we can do that is to connect with our higher self, We cannot do it from the ego consciousness, because the ego will try to protect, defend, and so on. So this is the alchemy. Is the in alchemical terms, this is negredo, the lead, right? The lower vibration energy. Albedo is the higher self, the gold, the higher vibration. So when they two come in contact, it produces a shift. It transforms. And then there's the third element in alchemy, which is called rubedo, which is the fixing element, which is actually after we hold the space and that energy gets shifted, it gets transformed. If we hold it long enough, there are some subtleties to this process. You have to not want to fix it. You don't want to get rid of the uncomfortable feeling. You have to stay with it as long as it has to. Like with a wounded child who's screaming, got hurt. You don't argue or why did you do this, stupid little uh, girl or boy, right? We just hold the space with love, with care for however long it needs. So, in the same way, this energy, it's processed, it's transformed, it's alchemized in this process. But the the next step that most people miss, it's actually what we call rubedo, the fixing agent. And that means actually to change to take an embodied action which is contrary to the root cause, right? To that samskara, to that pattern, which is a deep belief which we have to identify and then take a new different action. It's a little harder to explain in just a few words. That's why we are doing a program which is called Catalyst, how to remove the blocks, overcome the obstacles in order to align with your higher mission, with your divine destiny. So, if you're interested, we will explore in more depth this process, how it actually works, and to learn the powerful techniques. Alive, it's called. It's a 5-step process. How we go through all what we now explained in just simple terms. It's a powerful alchemical process with all the steps, including how we go to the deep root cause of what's the limiting belief that was formed and how to change it at the root. So if you're interested in this process, which is totally transformative, it's actually the most important work we are called to do in our lifetime, and especially in this period of time where we know all these powerful energies are coming to earth. So it's pushing up all those samskaras that are in standby in our subtle bodies because of the energies coming now to the earth. They're being triggered, they're coming to the surface more and more. So it's an opportunity to alchemize them. That's why we call it catalyst, because it's a an alchemical point. It's a big opportunity, because when we alchemize old patterns that were there for years, if not lifetimes, in our subconscious, we not only release them and feel better, but we actually transform and use that energy that before used to sabotage us into power, into getting more grounded in our higher self identity. We are becoming bigger, more expanded, on a higher vibration, living on a higher frequency. So we attract more abundance, we attract different relationship on all levels of our life. This makes the change, and we get more clarity of our soul mission, and we release the fears and so on. It has so many benefits. So I encourage you to check out the workshop, and I'd like to see you there.